it to her ass. He died inside that day. He knew what she would say. Rev wipe Shani's ass. Tell me what you think about that. He has to spread her cheeks and wipe her leaks, then give Shani a bath. Rev wipe Shani's ass. Tell me what you think about that. Sitting on a commode and Rev does what he's told, then he's sneaking drinks in the back. Decided it's time to fake a breakup. Then a few months later, pretend to make up. They thought they just could pretend, then get back together again. While Rev's recording in the kitchen, you can hear Shani's loud month in the back room bitching. Now everybody knows, and so the story goes. Rev wipe Shani's ass. Tell me what you think about that. He has to spread her cheeks and wipe her leaks, then give Shani a bath. Rev wipe Shani's ass. Tell me what you think about that. Sitting on a commode and Rev does what he's told, then he's sneaking drinks in the back.
Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? It's another afternoon DP, and we're going to check out the Trump sentencing. We'll see. It's the recording of the sentencing, and we'll see what all we can get out of this. I'm just going to start it right now. Please like the stream, and please help contribute to our weekly show goal. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Do it through Streamlabs. That helps the show most of all. Thank you.
Let's impose sentence, please.
Donald Trump, you are before the court for sentence following your conviction by trial to 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Before being sentenced, the court will allow you, your attorney, and the assistant district attorney an opportunity to address the court with any matters relevant to sentencing. For the people.
Thank you. Judge, where's the preferred place for me to stand?
Wherever you feel comfortable.
The defendant in this case, as you know, stands convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree, all Class E felonies. Each carries a range of authorized sentencing options for as much as 1 1/3 to 4 years in state prison to a variety
which he's not getting any of.
Incarceratory sentences. In this court's January 3rd decision on the defendant's Clayton motion, Your Honor indicated an inclination to impose an unconditional discharge. Under all the circumstances of this case, its unique posture and the defendant's status as president-elect, the people recommend a sentence of an unconditional discharge. In finding the defendant guilty in this case,
Unconditional
the
discharge.
jury necessarily found unanimously that the defendant falsified 34 separate entries in his business records with the intent to defraud, which included an intent to commit or conceal a conspiracy to promote his own election by unlawful means. Having presided over the trial, Your Honor is very familiar.
So it's being sentenced, unconditional discharge. He's being sentenced for the crimes, but there's no actual penalty for the crimes.
With the conduct, its seriousness, and the overwhelming evidence to support the jury's verdict. I'm certainly not going to rehash that now. In last week's
Because we already had the guilty verdict, so we already knew that. So this is just a formality because we're not learning anything new.
decision on January 3rd, this court referred to the gravamen of the defendant's conduct, his criminal conduct in this case, as constituting, quote, premeditated and continuous deception. The verdict was delivered by a jury that was carefully chosen using an extensive questionnaire based on suggestions from both parties and after thorough questioning of the prospective jurors by both sides. The verdict in this case was unanimous and decisive, and it must be respected. As this court has observed, quote, the sanctity of a jury verdict and the deference that must be accorded to it is a bedrock principle in our nation's jurisprudence. The defendant's conduct before, during, and after this trial also merits consideration. Instead of preserving, protecting, and defending our constitutionally established system of criminal justice, the defendant, the once and future President of the United States, has engaged in a coordinated campaign to undermine its legitimacy. Far from expressing any kind of remorse for his criminal conduct, the defendant has purposefully bred disdain for our judicial institutions and the rule of law. And he's done this to serve his own ends and to encourage others to reject the jury verdict that he finds so distasteful. He has characterized these proceedings as corrupt, rigged, a witch hunt, or a shame.
Yeah, he says that about anything that's negative against him. Nothing against Trump is legitimate. It's all just rigged or corrupt or there's always an excuse.
Too many times to tabulate. The defendant's rhetoric has only ratcheted up since this court's rulings on his motions to dismiss. He has been unrelenting in his unsubstantiated attacks upon this court and its family, individual prosecutors and their families, the witnesses, the grand jury, the trial jury, and the justice system as a whole.
Yeah, it's like, do you think he cares he has a felony on his record as long as he didn't do like any jail time or even house arrest or anything? It doesn't matter. He does not care if there's a felony on his permanent record. Like, he cares about the consequences, not the label.
The defendant has not only been held in contempt by other jurists in other matters, but this court alone found the defendant in contempt for 10 distinct violations of the order restricting extrajudicial speech. In his legal filings, the defendant has used dangerous rhetoric in leveling accusations of intentionally unlawful and unconstitutional conduct on the part of this court and the prosecution. As this court has noted, the defendant's conduct, quote, constitutes a direct attack on the rule of law itself. Moreover, the defendant has publicly threatened to retaliate against the prosecutors who have sought to hold him accountable in this and other matters, and the courts who have endeavored to fairly and faithfully adjudicate these matters. Such threats are designed to have a chilling effect, to intimidate those who have the responsibility to enforce our laws, in the hopes that they will ignore the defendant's transgressions because they fear that he is simply too powerful to be subjected to the same rule of law as the rest of us. In his 2024 end-of-year report, United States Supreme Court Chief Justice Roberts warned of the dangers of such conduct. Quote, "Public officials, too, regrettably, have engaged in recent attempts to intimidate judges. For example, suggesting political bias in the judge's adverse rulings without credible basis for such allegations," end quote. Chief Justice Roberts continued, quote, "Attempts to intimidate judges for their rulings are inappropriate and should be vigorously opposed. Public officials certainly have a right to criticize the work of the judiciary, but they should be mindful that intemperance in their statements when it comes to judges may prompt dangerous reactions by others." Chief Justice Roberts also spoke of the dangers.
I'm kind of like, is he done yet? He just keeps going. Nothing's happening. Where you're giving him a stern talking to, right?
Information, which are, quote, magnified.
That's the sentence. A stern talking to.
By social media, which provides a ready channel to instantly spread rumor and false information. Put simply, this defendant has caused enduring damage to public perception of the criminal justice
He didn't even have to show up.
system
He didn't even have to be there.
and has placed officers of the court in harm's way. In the probation report, which we just received this morning, the author, having interviewed the defendant, noted that the defendant sees himself as above the law.
He is. He sees himself that way because he is. Even when people went after him to convict him and everything, he's still above the law.
And won't accept responsibility for his actions. And that's certainly consistent with everything else that we've seen. Now, in a typical case, both the offense conduct and these other exacerbating factors would impact the appropriate sentence. But in this case, we must be respectful of the office of the presidency and mindful of the fact that the defendant—
I wonder what they would have done if he would have lost the election. I still don't think they would have done much.
will be inaugurated as president in 10 days.
I think they're making the excuse that it's the presidency and everything, but I don't think they would have done much of anything, had he not won. Maybe house arrest? I don't know. Hey, you are sentenced to 3 years in your palatial estate. Like, okay.
Any undischarged portion
He would just have rallies at like in his backyard or whatever. He would people would have to come to him to go to the Trump rallies.
of the sentence has the potential to interfere with the defendant's performance of the duties of his office. As a practical matter, the most sensible sentence—
Yeah, I mean, he already has people bringing him McDonald's every day. Like, nothing would change. It's not like he goes out to buy his own groceries or anything like that.
prior to his inauguration is an unconditional discharge. The court has expressed an inclination to do exactly that because, in the court's words, quote, "the most viable solution to ensure finality and allow defendant to pursue his appellate options is to proceed to sentence."
Okay, you done?
Now, as you know, in New York,
Please like the stream, by the way.
a conditional discharge is authorized by penal law, quote, "if the court, having regard to the nature and circumstances of the offense and to the history, character, and condition of the defendant, is of the opinion that neither the public interest nor the ends of justice would be served by a sentence of imprisonment, and that probation supervision is not appropriate." An unconditional discharge is authorized if a conditional discharge is authorized and, quote, "if the court is of the opinion that no proper purpose would be served by imposing any condition upon the defendant's release." Because these crimes are felonies, the court must set forth in the record the reasons for its action. The American public has the right to a presidency unencumbered by pending court proceedings or ongoing sentence-related obligations. But imposing this sentence ensures that finality. Sentencing the defendant permits this court to enter judgment to cement the defendant's status as a convicted felon while he pursues whatever appeals he intends to pursue. And it gives full effect and respect to the jury's verdict,
It has no effect over him whatsoever.
while preserving the defendant's ability to govern. People therefore recommend that this court impose a sentence of an unconditional discharge. Thank you.
Great.
Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. I very much disagree with much of what the government just said.
The government. That guy was the government? I've heard so much about him. I can't believe I just heard the government. That guy was the government.
About this case, about the legitimacy of what happened in this courtroom during the trial, and about President Trump's conduct fighting.
Look at the scowl that this guy has. Like, his normal face, his resting face is this.
This case from before it was indicted
Todd Blanche.
to while it was indicted, through the jury's verdict, and even to this day. What the government just said presupposes something that we disagree with very much,
We very much disagree. Very, very much.
which was that this was an appropriate case to be brought. It was not. This case, without a doubt, knowing everything we know about the time
Bring back Alina Habba instead.
of the investigation, the fact that multiple prosecutors looked at the fact of this case, including prosecutors within the district attorney's office in New York County, and made a decision not to bring charges. As the court knows,
Essentially.
shortly after President Trump announced his intention to run for re-election, this case was started for what amounted to a third time, which brings us ultimately to where we are today. A lot of what the government just said presupposes that this case is legally appropriate and that the charges that were brought by the people were consistent with the laws of New York. Again, we very much disagree with that, and as everybody has been noted, because it's true, we certainly intend on appealing that. And it's not, by the way, just counsel and President Trump that feels that way. There's many, many, many legal experts that share the same views that I just said, which is that legally this case should not have been brought, both based on the facts that were established at trial and also on the legal basis for which they were brought. But it's also not just the legal experts, not just counsel, and not just President Trump, but the majority of the American people also agree that this case should not have been brought. I mean, the interesting thing about the fact that there was a trial for the first time in our history, a criminal trial during an election season, is that the American voters got a chance to see and decide for themselves whether this is the kind of case that should have been brought. And they decided. And that's why in 10 days, President Trump is going to assume the
Because people voted for Trump, that was also a vote for whether or not this case should have even happened.
office of the President of the United States. And certainly we're here for the court to sentence President Trump to an unconditional discharge. And for that, it's a very sad day. It's a sad day for President Trump and his family.
We should just put all convictions up for a national vote to see whether or not they should actually happen.
And friends. But it's also,
That'll work.
in counsel's view, a sad day for this country, because this was a case, without a doubt, that was brought by a district attorney who promised that he would go after President Trump if elected, and felt like he had to go through with that promise. And so that's sad. And I hope, and I know that President Trump shares this view, that this will never happen again in this country. And so we certainly understand where we are today. We very much intend on pursuing an appeal of this verdict. and what happened during this investigation. And we certainly believe that the only
He's being
appropriate
sentenced to nothing. His sentence is you don't have to do anything. His sentence is there's no punishment.
sentence, if one's to be imposed at all, which we very much believe it shouldn't be, and that the case should be dismissed, is a sentence of an unconditional discharge. Thank you.
Thank you. Would your client like to be heard?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. This has been a
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Get ready for it.
very terrible experience. I think it's
Very terrible.
been a tremendous setback for New York and the New York court system. This was a case that Alvin Bragg did not want to bring. He thought it was, from what I read and from what I hear, inappropriately handled before he got there. A gentleman from a law firm came in and acted as a district attorney, and that gentleman, from what I heard, was a criminal or almost criminal in what he did. It was very inappropriate. It was somebody involved with my political opponent. Part of the records that we're talking about, they're saying, I just noticed where he said I was falsifying business records. Well, the falsification of business records, as they say, it was calling a legal expense in the books where everybody could see them, a legal expense. In other words, that legal fees or legal expense were put down as legal expense by accountants. They weren't put down by me, they were put down by accountants. I didn't call them construction, concrete work. I didn't call them electrical work. I didn't call them any. They called a legal fee or a legal expense, and for this, I got indicted. It's incredible, actually. Now, if you
Was the legal expense him paying Stormy Daniels? Was that the legal, or he paid someone else to pay Stormy Daniels? Is that how it worked? Is that a legal expense?
My attorney alluded to it. The top legal scholars and legal pundits in this country, the ones that are quoted all the time on television, that are making their views felt and highly respected people, have said,
Yeah, Michael Cohen.
Virtually everyone that I know of, I haven't
Who
seen
actually
any to
did
the-
time. It's funny, Michael Cohen did time for the shit he did for Trump, but Trump doesn't do time for the shit he paid Michael Cohen to do. Man.
Contrary, not one, and these people are not exactly friends of mine, to put it mildly, but they all said this is a case that should have never been brought. It's an injustice of justice. Very respected Jonathan Turley, Andy McCarthy, Judge David Rifkin, a wonderful man who just passed away, by the way, Greg Jarrett, Ellie Honig from CNN, of all places. CNN said that. Paul Ingratian, Alan Dershowitz. They all said this is not a case that should be brought. It's not, think about it. Legal expenses are down as legal expenses, and I get indicted for business records. Everybody should be so accurate. It's been a political witch hunt. It was done to damage my reputation so that
He already has a shitty reputation, and the people that love him will forgive anything that he does. So I don't think he really cares.
I'd lose the election, and obviously that didn't work. And the people of our country got to see this firsthand because they watched the case in your courtroom. They got to see this firsthand, and then they voted, and I won and got the largest number of votes by far of any Republican candidate in history.
Any Republican.
And won, as you know, all 7 swing states. Won conclusively all 7 swing states, and won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. And they've been watching your trial, so they understood it. I wasn't allowed to use the lawyer-client privilege or the reliance on counsel. I had a lawyer that made this deal, and he admitted that. And he was also a totally discredited person. We weren't allowed to use the information from the Southern District that totally discredited him. It wasn't allowed to be put in. And that was terrible, unbelievable. And this is a man who's got no standing. He's been disbarred on other matters, unrelated. And he was allowed to talk as though he were George Washington, but he's not George Washington. He shouldn't have been allowed. The Southern District did a book of approximately 28 pages where I've never seen anything like it. They excoriated.
Nobody's ever seen it. Nobody's seen anything like it. Nobody thought it was like that.
Let it be put into evidence. So he was able to testify as a witness, and I think it's a disgrace to the system. I was under a gag order. I'm the first president in history that was under a gag order where I couldn't talk about aspects of the case that are very important. I guess I'm still under, so probably I won't do it now. I assume I'm still under a gag order. But the fact is that I'm totally innocent. I did nothing wrong. They talked about business records, and the business records were extremely accurately counted. I had nothing to do with them. That was done by an accountant or a bookkeeper who I think gave very credible testimony and was corroborated by everybody that was asked. And with all that's happening in our country today, with a city that's burning to the ground, one of our largest, most important cities burning to the ground, with wars that are uncontrollably going on, with all of the problems of inflation and attacks on countries and all of the horrible things that are going on, I got indicted over calling a legal expense a legal expense. It was called illegal.
Yeah, you already said that part. He's looping now. The loop is starting.
I just want to say I think it's an embarrassment to New York, and New York has a lot of problems, but this is a great embarrassment. I believe that this and other cases that were brought, as you know, the DOJ is very much involved in this case. That's because that's the political opponent they're talking about. The DOJ is very involved. You have a gentleman sitting right there from the DOJ who was from the DOJ's office. He was also involved with the New York State Attorney General's case. And he went from there to here. He went around and did what he had to do. He got them to move on me. But in the meantime, I won the election in a massive landslide.
I would not call it a massive landslide, but he did decisively win.
And the people of this country understand what's gone on. This has been a weaponization of government. They call it lawfare. Never happened to any extent like this, but never happened in our country before. And I'd just like to exclaim that I was treated.
Get ready. 10 days away. He's back. He's back in office 10 days from now.
Very, very unfairly. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump, you appear before this court today to conclude this criminal proceeding by the imposition of sentence. Although I have taken the unusual step of informing you in advance of my inclinations, before imposing sentence, I believe it is important for you, as well as those observing these proceedings, to understand my reasoning for the sentence I am about to impose. The imposition of sentence is one of the most difficult and significant decisions that any criminal court judge is called upon to make. Our legislature sets the parameters for an authorized sentence, but it is a judge that must decide what constitutes a just conclusion to a verdict of guilty. A court is vested with broad discretion in determining what sources or
We already know what's going to happen.
evidence it may consider to arrive at an appropriate sentence. In doing so, the court must consider the facts of the case along with any aggravating or mitigating
Please like the stream, by the way.
circumstances. In my time on the bench, I've been called upon to grapple with this weighty responsibility for countless defendants who have been found guilty after trial for an assortment of offenses, ranging from nonviolent Class E felonies to the most heinous of crimes, including homicides, sex trafficking, and child sexual abuse. The task is always difficult and deserving of careful consideration, whether the sentence be an unconditional discharge or incarceration of 25 years to life.
25 years to life.
However, never before has this court been presented with
What was the max for this? Like 5 years or something?
such a unique and remarkable set of
They
circumstances.
said it earlier.
Indeed, it can be viewed fairly that this has been a truly extraordinary case. There was unprecedented media attention public interest, and heightened security involving various agencies. And yet, the trial was a bit of a paradox because once the courtroom doors were closed, the trial itself was no more special, unique, or extraordinary than the other 32 criminal trials that took place in this courthouse at the same exact time. Jury selection was conducted, the same rules of evidence were followed, opening statements were made, witnesses called and cross-examined, evidence presented, summations delivered. The same burden of proof was applied, and a jury made up of ordinary citizens delivered a verdict. And it was all conducted pursuant to the rules of procedure and guided by the law. Of course, part of what made it feel somewhat ordinary was the outstanding work, preparation, and professionalism of the clerks, court officers, court reporters, security personnel, and the entire staff of this building who did their jobs as they would with any other criminal trial.
Okay. It's so long-winded. We already know nothing's happening to him. By the way, please like the stream. Please, please, please chuck a couple dollars my way. It's right there. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Our Streamlabs link. Just send a couple dollars that way. Trying to get to at least 30% during this stream. If you're there and you're available to help. That would be amazing.
While one can argue that the trial itself was in many respects somewhat ordinary, the same cannot be said about the circumstances surrounding this sentencing. And that is because of the office you once occupied and which you will soon occupy again. To be sure, it is the legal protections afforded to the office of the President of the United States that are extraordinary, not the occupant of the office. The legal protections, especially within the context of a criminal prosecution, afforded to the office of the President have been laid out by our founders, the Constitution.
Which is weird. Like, you know, they escaped the clutches of a monarchy and then just established a virtual one by giving special exceptions to the people in control. There should be the same level of accountability, regardless of what your position is.
And
but there's not.
Recently interpreted by the United States Supreme Court in the matter of Trump versus the United States.
In many ways, the courts protect the people who have the money to pay to go to court, not the person who was actually wronged.
It was decided on July 1st, 2024. As with every other defendant in your position, it is my obligation to consider any and all aggravating and mitigating factors to inform my decision. Some of those aggravating factors have already been articulated in my Sandoval ruling at the start of this trial and by my recent written decisions on December 16th and January 3rd. Thus, they need not be repeated at this time.
Okay.
However, the considerable, indeed, extraordinary legal protections afforded by the office of the chief executive.
Chief executive?
Is a factor that overrides all others.
He's making excuses.
To be clear, the protections afforded the office of the president are not a mitigating factor. They do not reduce the seriousness of the crime or justify
just the seriousness of the consequences.
Its commission in any way. The protections are, however, a legal mandate, which pursuant to the rule of law, this court must respect and follow. However, despite the extraordinary breadth of those protections, one power they do not provide is the power to erase a jury verdict. It is clear from legal precedent, which until July 1st was scarce, that Donald Trump, the ordinary citizen, Donald Trump, the criminal defendant, would not be entitled to such considerable protections. I'm referring to protections that extend well beyond those afforded the average defendant who winds their way through the criminal justice system each day. No, ordinary citizens do not receive those legal protections. It is the office of the president that bestows those far-reaching protections to the office holder. And it was the citizenry of this nation that recently decided that you should once again receive the benefits of those protections, which include, among other things, the Supremacy Clause and presidential immunity. It is through that lens and that reality that this court must determine a lawful sentence. After careful analysis, in obedience to governing mandates, and pursuant to the rule of law, this court has determined that the only lawful sentence that permits entry of a judgment of conviction without encroaching upon the highest office in the land is an unconditional discharge.
Yeah, we knew. Spoiler
which the
alert.
New York State Legislature has determined is a lawful and permissible sentence for the crime of falsifying business records in the first degree. Therefore, at this time, I impose that sentence to cover all 34 counts. Sir, I wish you Godspeed as you assume your second term in office. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. That's it. So we were saying this when he was first indicted. And I don't believe they're using the, oh, well, he's president thing, or he's about to be president. I don't think they would have done much of anything either way. Yes, the president immune to law. Check this out. Someone, the Pizzagate shooter from several years ago was killed in a shootout with the cops.
Meantime, we turn to this. We've got some new details to share tonight about a deadly officer-involved shooting from last Saturday in Kannapolis.
We now know the man killed was the person charged in the infamous Pizzagate incident back in 2016. The shooting happened on North Cannon Boulevard around 10:30 Saturday night. Investigators tell us an officer tried to pull over a car he believed the person with the warrant was in. After other officers responded, we're told they tried to get the suspect out of the passenger seat of the car when he pulled a gun. Police say the suspect did not drop the weapon when asked, and at which point they opened fire. That man, now identified as Edgar Welch, died at the hospital.
Now, Welch is the man who fired an AR-15 rifle inside a Washington, D.C. pizza place in 2016. This
Crazy shit.
is an incident that has since come to be known as Pizzagate. Welch claimed that he was there to
I can't believe people believe bullshit that they read online.
save children. He believed
Like
were
this shit that's like clearly fictional.
being held
It's-
as part of a sex ring. This is a theory that came from a baseless online rumor that Democrats like Hillary Clinton were using the pizza shop to abuse children. Now, Welch pleaded guilty in 2017 to federal charges in that case.
The State Bureau of Investigation is looking into Saturday's shooting. The officers who fired shots are now
Obviously, he shouldn't have had a firearm.
on administrative leave per protocol.
All right. What is this?
Well, President-elect Trump is putting the world on notice about his intentions to acquire Greenland. Just yesterday, Trump sent his son, Don Jr., and a delegation of other representatives to the territory's capital city of Nuuk. Now, the president-elect says Greenland is
He likes the name Nuke, I think.
essential for keeping
He's a
the
big fan
United
of
States
Nuuk.
and the world safe and secure. Watch.
We need Greenland for national security purposes. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right.
What? People don't know if Denmark has a legal right to Greenland.
to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen. And if Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States. But if they did do that, then I would tariff Denmark at a very high level.
And one Democrat lawmaker says that he's open to hearing the idea out. Here's Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman.
I would never support taking it by force, but I do think it's a responsible conversation if they were open to acquiring it, and whether just buying it outright. I mean, if anyone think that's bonkers, it's like, well, remember the Louisiana purchase? Well, I think Alaska was a great deal too. $50 million, open to having all kinds of conversations as well. And now I don't think it's not helpful to freak out.
Is Fetterman like the new Joe Manchin?
But some things might work out, some may not, but that's part of ongoing dialogue.
So ongoing dialogue that might now actually include both parties and might proceed. What say you, Bill?
Back in March, we had the great fortune of joining the U.S. Navy and going up pretty close to the North Pole. And I can tell you, well north of the Arctic Circle in March, everything is frozen as far as the eye can see. Geographically, the island of Greenland, 4/5 of it is above the Arctic Circle, which means for about 10 months out of the year, it is nothing but frozen ice.
Frozen ice. It's frozen ice.
If you want to successfully,
as opposed to unfrozen ice,
navigate places like Greenland, what you need are icebreakers.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many icebreakers the United States has today?
0.
2, I believe.
2. Yeah. Very good.
Yes.
U.S. Coast Guard. Do you know how many icebreakers Russia has today?
5, 10.
40. And some of them are nuclear powered, which gives Putin the capacity to operate at that part of the world during certain times of the year. So Greenland sounds like a great idea, but if you're going to go ahead and pursue that, you're going to have to pursue some other things too, which includes spending money to develop what you need in order to operate in that part of the world.
No, I thought I thought spending was out of control and we needed to rein back on the spending.
To Bill's point, Dagan, so China also has icebreakers and are a member of that Arctic Circle coalition that is so vitally important for
They kind of invited
reasons.
Themselves.
Exactly. Push their way in.
There are 8 countries in the world that share the Arctic Circle. China ain't one of them. But in 2018, they kind of invited themselves into the club, and they set up a science lab on a northern island far above the Arctic Circle in Norway to be a part of this. So
they're a part of it. And then the mineral-rich Greenland also, to his point, provides another resource that if we get our hands on, it means China does.
Also, this 3 times the size of Texas and also rich in oil and gas. China stated goal, world's #1 superpower. And President Trump is just simply saying, okay, different administration, different leader, not going to sit back and empower and enrich all of these nations that want to wipe the United States off the face of the earth. So you take President Trump, that press conference, you take him seriously, maybe not literally, so some of these things will get done. The one thing that jumped out for me was when he said his threat about the hostages in Gaza, that he reiterated by the middle of the day on January 20th, the United States and Israel will be aligned like this.
there were 2 bodies found today in Gaza that the Israelis reported.
Hostages.
A father and a son. So to your
He said all hell will break loose if those hostages are not returned.
Kaylee, analysts have said that in the prior administration of President Trump, when he talked about then also as well acquiring Greenland, that it wasn't until it was sort of announced publicly that Denmark sort of resurfaced in a publicly nationalistic sort of fervor and refusal, but it actually was making strides back then. So here now, is this a continuation rather than a origin story?
I'm so glad you brought this up because it is a continuation. You know, it's funny to watch some of the liberal media. They act
the liberal media. Yeah, she worked for Trump. She was his press secretary after Huckabee Sanders. So, and she works for Fox News. A lot of them do. Dana Perino. She was Bush's press secretary. So that's what happens fairly often.
You know, Trump had a hat and he pulled out the name of countries and said, I just want these because, you know, I'm an autocrat. That is not what happened. These are strategic decisions he is making for our national security interests. You talk about competition in the Arctic over natural resources. Greenland is hugely important, but rare earth minerals, which are key to making defense products. We have 1.3% of rare earth
defense products. I love how defense products. Is that another way of saying weapons? Is that the way we say weapons now? Defense products.
China has 70%. Greenland is rich in this. And even John Bolton, a critic of the Trump administration, said yesterday, I've always seen the strategic importance of Greenland.
Which is interesting considering that he was just visiting there in Florida. So I wonder if that was part of the conversation. And to that end, Denmark is clear that they don't mine for that, right? So this would represent a very serious shift of utilization of Greenland.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I'm actually much more optimistic about our ability to cut through ice. Having lived in Minnesota, one of the early dates with my husband up
There's
in
no
Duluth
glaciers in Minnesota.
Was to watch an ice cutter come in, because at that point,
Yeah, but it's not like glacial ice.
the Lake Superior, which is the size of the ocean.
It is not the size of the ocean. It's a large lake. It's huge. It's a huge lake. But it's not the ocean. What are you talking about?
Basically up there, would come in, and ice was so thick that we were driving our cars out into places like Brainerd, and 18-wheelers were dropping those houses. Now, I don't know how much of that is going on today, but those are some great dates. And those ice cutters come in, and they're like giant cities cutting through that ice because the ships are so big. We have a lot of go power in the United States, and there's some people who can do some things that maybe don't make television. I think we got this.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. I'm just bracing myself. I know the best is yet to come. Crazy being the lowest IQ on Fox News. Yeah, that was quite the story she told there. Lake Superior is gigantic for a lake. It's not even close to the size of an ocean. Maybe like a sea, like an inland sea, you could say. You know, because there's some large inland seas. It's huge. The Erie Ocean, yeah. The Ontario Ocean. Ooh, the Michigan Ocean. And I will say, like, when you're flying, I've flown from Chicago to Detroit before. And when you're flying over Lake Michigan, it does seem like you're flying over the ocean because it is big. But that only takes like 45 minutes to fly over. And then you're back over land, and when you fly over the ocean, it takes like 7 hours, depending on where you're flying from. But it takes several hours to fly across the ocean. Damn it. All right, I have to go to the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back. All right. Back again. Thanks for sticking around. There's Chris Chan's nose right there. I'd check in and see what's going on with Chris Chan, but all that happens on Chris Chan's channel lately is playing with Transformers. So, like these weird Quickville themed Transformers. I don't know who's making them. All right, let's check out the individual situation.
Individual situation. Check out the beautiful asshole.
The individual Brett Keane segment situation.
Nope, it's literal Transformers. Literal, like, the toys. But they're, like, Quickville themed. All right, here's the Manatee.
Would you consider becoming the dictator-in-chief of Greenland when Trump annexes it? I think you would be a fair ruler.
Yes, I'll do it. I don't really like cold weather, but I guess I'll do it because the people need me. Thank you for my first donation so far this morning. I appreciate it. And if anyone else wants to help, I'm trying to get to like 30% or so.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane, and you're watching and listening to...
You're watching and listening
to God TV Radio. I hope you're all having a blessed day out there. It seems that our government has betrayed us. They have totally screwed us up.
That's Brett. That's a photo of Brett.
Trump told us that everything was going to be fine, but now we have another massive amount of people. All these people.
His mic is terrible, by the way.
Who are heading to America. They're going to get free room and board.
Are they? Is that how it works? You just come to America and you get free room and board?
Free welfare, free hospital insurance, free education, free everything. My kids...
He's got like a mutant hand, too. Like a weird, like, mutant hand with 2 cigarettes.
Didn't get a free education. My kids couldn't go to the best schools or anything like that because
I'm a lazy piece of shit.
The government wasn't interested.
Oh, it's the government's fault. Okay.
It wasn't America first. It wasn't about taking care of our country. In fact,
so does Brett think we should have like socialism for American citizens and like free education and everything? He seems to think immigrants get it, which isn't the case. I mean, we do have free public education, but what is he talking about?
Education system's at an all-time low. There's people out there, even Kamala Harris showed...
The public education system varies by region.
Recently, that she is so uneducated that she couldn't even fucking recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, they got her on video fucking that up. And every time she fucked it up, she cackled as though, you know, she was doing something cute on the Nintendo.
She was doing something cute on the Nintendo. All right.
Because of this, Trump said in the past that if Mexico continues to do this, that he was going to tariff the shit out of them.
Tariff the shit. Insult the shit out of them. Tariff the piss out of them.
He also said that the leaders over in Mexico, he talked to them over and over and that they had made deals.
Over.
Everything was good. So either Trump lied or they...
Yes, he did. Yes. If someone was like, did Trump lie? And I didn't even know what they were talking about, I'd be like, probably.
Basically told him what they wanted, what he wanted to hear. And they're basically spitting in his face right now.
They're spitting. It just so happens he's into that.
They're basically saying, we don't give a fuck about Trump. We're going to continue to send massive amounts of people into your country and do this anyway. And then we've also got Democrats who are saying that they're going to do everything they can to stand in the way of Donald Trump deporting people. Now, it's in the law. It's our government's obligation to do deportations and keep illegals out of our country. The problem is that since our FBI and CIA and
the problem is that
our own elected officials, which I think most of them got in through election fraud, they're not wanting to actually do anything. Trump is just one man. He can't, unless he's got like people that are working with him actually trying to help, then all of his shit's going to be words heard on deaf ears. That's what we're looking at. You can't change the world unless other people are inspired to work with you on your ideologies or your thoughts and all that. You can't get things moving. Even if you're the greatest boss in the world and you run a business, if you don't have good workers, if you don't have people that are going to do your mandate, it's not going to happen.
Would you like to go on a mandate?
So why does Trump keep on saying, well, I talked to this country, I talked to these leaders, I did all this, and, you know, they agreed they're going to change and do all this, but they're not. This is clear evidence that they're not listening to Donald Trump. And they're definitely not listening to the American people. So somehow we managed to get Trump into office, and even though we've done that, it's pretty much the government's going to say, yep, see, no matter who you vote for, no matter how much faith or hope you have, we're just going to keep on spending your fucking money and doing this.
Listening on of deaf ears.
And will the American people ever get the balls to stand up and do something about it? Will Americans say, all right, there's too much tyranny? It's clear.
Did he say tyranny? There's too much tyranny? Does he mean tyranny? Hold on.
This. And will the American people ever get the balls to stand up and do something about it? Will Americans say, all right, there's too much tyranny?
Tyranny. Tire. Knee. Tire. Knee. Tire. Knee. Tire. Knee. Tyranny. There's too much tyranny in the world today.
This. And will the American people ever get the balls to stand up and do something about it? Will Americans say, all right, there's too much tyranny?
Oh my God. Tyranny. I got to hear it one more time.
This. And will the American people ever get the balls to stand up and do something about it? Will Americans say, all right, there's too much tyranny? It's clearly a dictatorship at this point.
Is it?
The government is not fucking listening to us. So is Americans going to do anything? I doubt it.
The tyranny of the Rhine of Zhao Dedong.
Every single time, for some oddball reason, throughout history, there was always a small amount of people that the countries of the world allowed to lead. And these people, somehow, this small group of people always convinced the mass amount of people to pay taxes and pay money and
pay taxes and pay
suffer,
money,
no matter how fucking miserable things got. And unfortunately, that's the way it's always been, where people will just kind of sit back on their fucking hands waiting for things to change.
I always thought it was pronounced tyranny.
Tyranny. Tyranny. I say tyranny, but tyranny sounds really good.
You can make a change, as there's been a couple times, only a couple times throughout history. A majority of the time it doesn't go this way, where people, the citizens, stand up and they topple their government.
Stand up!
And they have what we call revolution. Something has to give. Something has to happen.
Something's got to give.
But it's a little bit too late at this point. And the reason why is because, at least in the past, when a government turned on its people, you could simply get a bunch of citizens together and beat the shit out of these people, hang them up out in the streets publicly, and fucking go about your business and elect somebody that you trust afterwards. But if you're bringing in massive amount of peoples from all kinds of different
You'll get nothing but tyranny.
And these massive amount of people are killing the original natives that live in the country.
Who's the original natives? Brett does not see the problem with what he's saying right now, because he's talking about himself being one of the original natives. You hear how he said original natives? Like, yeah, I'm native to where I was born, but then he said the original natives.
But if you're bringing in massive amount of peoples from all kinds of different countries, and these massive amount of people are killing the original natives that live in the country, replacing them, then who the fuck is going to be the ones turning against the government? Not. It's basically rinse and repeat. You bring in new people, you kill off all the old, and there won't be anybody to...
Knees. Poor guy.
Tire knee. Yeah, we're at 25%. I had a short-term goal of 30%, and we're marching along now. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Stand against it ever, and keep everybody, even the new people, uneducated, unemployed, and dependent on the government.
Dependent on the government. You know, he does say "arn" more than "orn." You know what I mean? Arn the government. Hold on.
Bullshit. It's like an evil god that is basically saying, look, I put you in this private cell, your own private hell, and the only way you're going to survive is if you kiss my ass and eat the few crackers I throw you every once in a while. And that's the end of that.
Damn.
This is the world we live in. And my family and I are truly barely surviving.
Oh, is he about to cry? He's doing the Brett crocodile tears.
This is what it's all become.
Remember when he cried when he ate the cheeseburger? Because, like, TJ said he'd give him money if he ate a cheeseburger, and then TJ wasn't going to give him the money, and he cried. Do you remember that? I remember. He did cry. He did cry. I wonder if I can find the video of it. I'll see if I can find it here. I can't remember. It was the burger it was the burger saga. Oh my god, I love this one. Oh my god, some of these are great. I'm grabbing a few of these. Some of these are great.
Tyra Tyra and White Titan Brett made me dumber.
Oh God, thank you. Thank you for that. Oh my God. Yeah, this is a good one too. I guess we're going to marathon some of these because I went back and I'm like, there's some good stuff on here. Oh my God. Oh God, this is so good. Holy shit, there's so much good stuff here. All right. I've got a few of them, and we'll watch them now. I can't find the one of him crying, which is sad. Because there is one where he cries. Because, like, they were like, oh, we want you to eat a burger without your dentures in. And he did it, and then TJ was like, I'm not going to pay him. And he made a video, like, crying. Okay, let's see.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out my gaming channel, Games You Love.
I love the pause. Games You Love.
And when you get an opportunity, check out all my other YouTube channels, including my brother's and my new Movies You Love channel.
He's got to take a bite before he tells you what the Movies You Love channel is all about. Oh, here's this is one of the most famous Brett videos ever. This is the chili one, the no cheese one.
My beautiful wife, she made me a fantastic bowl of chili.
No cheese, though. Dumb bitch.
No cheese. Well, somebody ended up tweeting me this particular clip.
This particular clip
of the Drunken Peasants, where they're sitting there saying that they're going to sue me for supposedly, allegedly, a false DMCA. Thing is, I never said in any of my videos, according to your accusation, never said anything about false flagging anybody or creating any false DMCAs. In my video, I stated that my videos are copyrighted, which means that, let's say the Drunken Peasants decided to grab one of the new songs by Megadeth. Or maybe
he always does Megadeth. Yeah, Paul said this too. Brett is like stuck in the 80s.
Maybe you decide you want to go classic Megadeth, right?
Classic Megadeth.
Decide you want to play the entire track of Megadeth, Peace Sells But Who's Buying? Maybe just half of the song. Well, all of a sudden, you find out that your live show goes down. The end of the thing, you get a copyright strike. Why? Because you sat there and played a copyright song.
You sat there.
Well, my videos are digitally copyrighted. So, what ends up hitting you will be the copyright company along with
the
YouTube.
Copyright company. There's a copyright company. There's a copyright company. Guys.
YouTube ensures that digital owners and copyright owners, their stuff is protected. Sure, you have fair use. You're allowed to criticize. You're allowed to say constructive things.
No, it does not have to be constructive.
You're allowed to do something if it's educational. You're also allowed to sit there and be funny in a parody. But parody doesn't involve things like libel or slander or talking about someone's children or making
liability
in fun of their disability. You don't get to sit there and make accusations such as domestic abuse, claiming that I whoop up on my wife and all that, and then make fun of the way she looks and the way she sounds, and then do that. That's not parody. That's actually slander. If you get knocked down, it'll be by YouTube and copyright company, not me. So you can't hold me responsible. But let me tell you what I can do. You recorded yourself on video. You and Paul Zigo and your brother and Ben, Rey Mysterio. You guys recorded yourself putting my real phone number up on your video.
What he meant by no cheese?
No. It was never confirmed. I think he was mad that there was no cheese in the chili, though. I think it was like, that dumb bitch can't put some cheese in my chili. Fuck that.
Several times. inciting your audience to call me up and violently and aggressively, verbally abusing me all over. I've got all those recordings. Every one of the videos where you put my number up, I have them downloaded. I have the video downloaded of you and Paul Zigo and your brother.
You put your own... It's so funny how he, like, pretends to not know that he put his own phone number out there.
And Ben calling my residence and harassing me.
It was like a Google Voice phone number. It was not his, like, home phone or anything.
A video that you still have up on your own channel.
Uh-huh.
You guys are sitting there smoking weed and getting drunk and calling another person's residence at their home. You referred to me as a nigger.
Oh, God. Okay.
Then after you guys do that, and before that, you guys made phone calls to my home over and over and over, leaving long, drawn out, babbling, incoherently nasty shit. The phone number tells me, according to the device I have plugged in, that one of the calls were made in California.
Oh.
And the penal code, according to California, states that if you make harassing calls and the victim feels like they are threatened, which I felt threatened, you could do up to 5 to 10 years in prison. And
he likes those peniles.
Pay $250,000. That means that you could spend just as much time in prison.
So, like, Brett didn't live in California, and none of us lived in California at this point, so it doesn't matter.
As your father did, TJ, for the kind of crap he pulled on people, the manipulation, bullying, diploma mills, all that. Of course, $250,000, that ain't nothing compared to the $35 million that Mr. Kirk had to pay back people, right? So you get what I'm saying?
No.
You called my residence. You recorded doing it many, many times. I got the video up showing everybody that you called many, many times, calling me a nigger, making racial comments. Now let's think about this. You get in court. You have a judge listening to these sound bites of you guys doing what you did, watching the video that you guys produced with you doing it, and then on top of it, all the videos in which you post my content into your videos, insulting the living shit out of me and inciting an audience to make harassing calls towards me, then lying and claiming that I'm false flagging people and false DMCAing people. That's slander, that's libel. And it's also inciting an audience to come over and try to destroy my channel on your behalf. You don't have a fucking chance. Okay? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, because I've already been told by the lawyer that I've got a great case. All I have to do is go through a charge in your ass. I've been pondering this. I'm going to give you a chance to do something. I'm going to give you a week. I have up to 6 months to sit there and charge you. I'm going to give you 1 week to make a video and give me a public apology to my wife and my children and myself. If you don't, I'm going to charge you, and then you're going to have the cops come to your damn home. Paul's going to have the cops come to his home, and you're going to be arrested. And then you get to go to court as an atheist who is a drug addict on video and audio, and try to explain why it is that you constantly need to sit there and make harassing calls to a Christian, to a God believer, a theist, his entire family and children, You really think that's going to go well for you? Your father thought that he was going to get away with the bullshit he was doing. It didn't work out so well for him, did it? Do you really want this? I'm going to ask you right now for a public apology. I'd be willing, if you make that public apology, if you never say a damn word about me again on the Drunken Peasants, I'll never make a video about you or say anything. In fact, I'd be willing to actually take down my videos of anything that I've said about you, whether it's a response video or not. We can go different paths. We can completely cut this nonsense off. But if you're just going to make a video and say fuck you, or ignore what I said and continue on your way, if I don't have my public apology by the next time Drunken Peasants comes on,
or Dark Charmer comes on,
I'm going to sue you for harassment and also emotional trauma that you've caused my family. And I'm also going to have a problem with you sitting there inciting people to flag my channel. If my channel goes down, then that'll just be more to my case, showing that I've been falsely reported by you. You've already pointed it out. You've incited your audience to do so. I've lost channels before. I'm used to starting over. I don't care. I'll just re-upload my content. But you, if you lose your channel, you lose everything. Almost 1 million subscribers. Is it worth it? Just be humble. Say you're sorry, that you won't talk about my wife and children or do the things you've been doing to me anymore. And all this can end. Peace out.
Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. So that was a classic. What is this?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out my gaming channel, Games You Love. And when you get an opportunity, check out all my other YouTube channels, including my brother's. She made me a fantastic bowl
All
of
I'm
chili.
hearing is that Brett Keane sits there and gets f***ed by dogs.
He sits
while eating
there.
Chili.
Oh, the huge manatee. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh. All right, so we have a little bit of manatee content here.
We do, yeah. We should.
The first one is.
It's about you, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Is this the one I think it is? You
treacherous dog. This is the one where he plays your voicemail.
No, Ben, I talked to you about not playing this one on the air.
Play it. You
Like
did?
this just really makes me look bad, man.
I was like, you did?
It's really got Brett
Paul's
really
number on this
like
shit, dude.
he really got my goat with
He
this.
plays and remember when we were in LA and you mentioned you were in a call with Brett Keane and he said he
I
wasn't
cannot wait to
recording
hear
it.
these I cannot wait to hear these prank calls again, man.
Because he fucking recorded a conversation between you and
Yeah,
him.
no, this is actually.
Did you know you were being recorded?
Well, here's a funny story about it before you play the video. This was right after we had the big blowout with Brett Keane on the show, whatever the one where the father like son, like that one. Like a day after that, he's hitting me up on Skype like, I just want to talk to you man to man, Paul Segal. And I told him over Skype before we even called, I was like, Brett, we're not going to be buddies. I don't like you. I will talk to you, but I'm just letting you know, like, if the opportunity comes for me to fuck on you, I'm gonna do it because I don't really respect you much, but I'll talk to you. Well, okay, I'll take it, Paul. Say whatever you gotta do. I want to talk. So I talked to him, and I told him like, what you're gonna hear right now is the very beginning of my Skype call from him, and he cuts it right when I'm about to say something like, Brett, I just want to get something out of the way here. Like, I know you're recording this shit, and I know you're going to use it in, like, an attack video against me. And I just want you to know that, like, I know that, and it's okay. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not going to say anything to you tonight that you could use against me, but I just wanted you to know I know. And he's like, oh, I'm not recording you now, Paul Segal. This is the first half of that conversation.
Yeah, and you said that you knew that we were going to hear this eventually.
Yes, I did in L.A. You remember I told you
2 weeks
this.
ago.
2 weeks ago, I told these guys in L.A., hand to God, swear to God, these guys will back me up.
Yeah, I was
said
laughing
Brett
about
Keane
it.
is about to release this shit like it's going to come out. And here it is. And it's completely worthless.
I'm not recording this, Paul.
No, I wouldn't record you, Paul. I don't need to record nothing, Paul. I'm just man to man.
All right, here we go.
All right, how about now?
Yep, I hear you.
Are we fixed? Excellent.
I don't know whatever possessed me to get a fucking soundboard, like I know anything about audio engineering. But anyway, what's happening, Brett? What's the haps on the crabs? What's the situation tonight, my friend?
I just feeling like shit.
Is he sick or something, man?
No.
No, I just feel like shit.
Emotionally like shit or physically like shit?
More emotional.
Got it. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Poor
I know
Brad.
that feeling. It sucks. What are you going to do? It's the human experience,
Offering
right?
solace to our most hated enemy.
I know.
I know, right?
He's on here. He's like, this is how Paul's ego talks to me in private, and this is how he talks to me on the Drunken Peasants. And they're really like, if you listen to it, like the only difference is that like he's actually there. So I'm talking to him about what's going on. Like, of course I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'm glad you're fucking depressed, Brett. Kill yourself, you fat fuck.
Maybe Mendham's right, Brett. Maybe we're all just fucking suffering puppets that should
We're all like suffering puppets.
Wow.
Lots of vocal fry.
Paul, you're being so emo.
Yeah, not really being emo. I was trying to get Brett to talk about something like interesting and real.
Yeah, man.
That's not going to happen.
Suffering puppets.
It's all just suffering.
We are suffering puppets.
stop breeding and end it all.
Rats caught in a maze, huh?
Yeah, there it is. Looking for the cheese, man. Looking for the cheese.
Like an old friend.
There is no cheese, is there, Brett?
See, I'm digging at him there.
Is there any cheese at the end of the fucking maze, Brett?
Huh?
I don't know. One can hope and
There's
have faith,
chili no cheese.
That's true.
You know.
Got faith.
That is true. I don't believe that there's any cheese. I'll be honest with you, but I don't know that there's not any cheese.
It's true.
What the fuck is going on with this? Oh, my camera's on. Okay, well, fuck it.
It's just like innocuous, like
fucking face.
boring. Paul's having to carry the conversation. Fucking
Kind of doing like I used
Just like his
to.
hangouts.
Yeah. No, this is exactly how I sound on his hangouts too.
Right.
And I immediately regret going into them, and I usually leave within like 20, 30 minutes.
He does 8-hour-long hangouts where he probably does like 10% of the talking.
It's absurd.
Sounds like a laugh-a-minute roller coaster ride
And I forgot RPG Minx was there.
of an experience.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, man. People are asking me about it and shit, and I'm like, there's actually a reason. I mean, I like the shades. Don't get me wrong, they're nice, but I'm fucking light sensitive. My monitors are turned all the way down, and my eyes will start watering after about like 10 or 15 minutes of staring at this shit.
What do I sound? I'm
have
so high in this that I sound like Hank Hill or something. I'm like, I'll tell you what, my eyes will start watering after 10 or 15 minutes. I've got my monitors turned all the way down, but I'm still having to wear my shades indoors. Like, what am I doing? Like, maybe this is a ponage video. Like, what the fuck? Do I sound like that? Like, off the air?
Oh, yeah, all the time. It's how you talk.
Oh!
It just helps.
Were you doing it?
He was like, ah!
Or?
Fuck it, I'm the sunglasses inside.
I like when he plays the voicemails because those are priceless.
Skip the voicemail. Skip this
Type
shit.
of fucking
Let's listen to these
individual
fucking
myself.
voicemails. Brett did us a favor by
Here it comes.
So here's him, like he's implying that I am.
This is ICP, not Gacy.
Yes,
Someone made him look like ICP.
I'm John Wayne Gacy, though, which I guess if I was gonna be a serial killer, I'd probably want to be Gacy.
Even if you looked exactly like him, what the fuck does that even mean? It doesn't matter.
Ben, thanks,
He's
by
not
the way.
Gacy.
Even if you look like eerily exactly like this nasty fuck face clown.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
really, because you're a good person underneath that fucking hideous mask.
This like child rapist murderer clown.
But generally, he was a good guy, though, you know? He was alright, you know?
Yeah, Gacy was all right. I mean, like, 99% of the time he wasn't raping any kids or murdering them.
Yeah, that only happened, like 10 times?
Yeah, I
He
mean,
just buried him in his
how much of his
backyard.
life was that, really? Come on,
It's
most of the
Paul
time he was all right.
Go. I'm sitting here with most of the Drunken Peasants. We're in Los Angeles, and we're talking about you, and we thought we'd try and give you a phone call. I'm not going to leave a number for you to call back because I'm not retarded, but
Thank you, ladies.
We may try and call you sometime in the future. So if you get another call mysteriously from somebody saying it's Paul Vega, it's actually me. So pick it up, you fucking manatee.
Okay, that's voicemail number 1.
I liked it when you did like an impersonation of him of what he would do once he heard it. Darn!
Paul Zago's on the phone.
He's with the peasants.
He's got all the whole peasants with him. The peasants have assembled. Darn! I need you to get my rag on a stick. I need to clean myself up for this.
Rag on a stick.
Mad, bro. You got me.
That's right. Okay, so pause it. So here's what happened. So after that first voicemail, we didn't hear back from the Manatee. And then the next day, okay, I can just say it because it doesn't matter. So when Beyond Fear came to America, she bought like a temporary SIM card for her phone that gives you a temporary number for like $50 or whatever. She just wanted to have a phone she could use to call people. So we used that phone to call him. So the next day, Beyond Fear calls me and she's like, "Oh, oi! Fucking Brett sent you a message." And so she shows me the email or the text that he sent, and it's just like, "You mad, bro?" And that was it. Like no attempt to call back.
Tight mem from Brett Keane there.
It's a mem.
It was a pretty dank mem.
It was a mem. I remember the mem
cool on the
thing.
internet at this current time. It's why his channels are so successful.
Me,
Oh, yeah.
but now you're not answering. I told
Dozens
you,
and dozens of viewers.
Paul Vigo. I'm actually sitting here with TJ, the amazing atheist.
You fools, drunken peasants. This isn't even my final situation. Prepare yourselves, Rey Mysterio and Anecdotal Paul.
Anecdotal Paul.
He's literally sitting here kicked back on the couch with me, and we're calling you, and you don't answer the phone. You will, however, use these messages that I've left you in a video. Probably already have them started.
There it is.
Yeah.
And this one will definitely get a featured video of its own. So.
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
the last call is the best call. Man.
Yeah, we gotta play that one like uninterrupted through. Like,
yeah, that one is pretty glorious.
That's a masterpiece.
I don't know. Being there, I think might have been funnier.
I don't know. Let's just see how it holds up.
Sure.
I guess.
Enjoy that.
Was this when we were drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
This was the second night that we called him. And then we called him that third night, and I was like, "That's it, I'm done."
The third night was the best night, though. That was when you left the masterpiece.
I'm not going to call again because I don't want you to go, "Paul's ego's harassing me at all hours of the night." So if you want to talk, call this number, I guess. If you can text it, you can call it. So, yeah. Peace, I guess.
Okay.
This is Paul's ego.
Night 3.
Brett, you were terrible at answering your phone. Why do you put your phone number out for people to call you? I know you're up. You're nocturnal. You feed
You're
on
nocturnal.
algae at the bottom of the river at night.
Those gummy bears and those Sour Patch Kids, I'll tell you what.
Oh, man.
That's your thing. But you're not answering. You're playing phone tag with Paul's ego.
You're
When
running
you could
on
be
all
talking
cinder
to
blocks.
Thank you.
Vampire. It's because you're not a gourd believer.
I am not working on all cinder blocks.
Paul's ego. And the amazing atheist. TJ, just say a word or say nigger or something.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh man, that is some things don't age so well.
Jesus is a nigger.
Oh my god, dude!
I told you he's here.
Okay, could you tell how wasted TJ was there?
Yes, I could tell how wasted I was there. I was like, Jesus is a nigger.
Oh god!
Yeah, I like how the
we were talking the other night about how like that shit got said a lot.
I sound like the fucking dormouse from Alice in Wonderland.
I love that the way to authenticate that you're actually present is to have you drop an N-bomb.
Yeah, because that's the only way Brett knows me. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Brett, you are number.
Scotty is here. I won't even make him talk because he never speaks. Beyond Fear is here. Kick that Rey Mysterio looking asshole.
Who's
See? That Rey Mysterio looking asshole. For you now. Yeah, we come for you, Brett King. No, we're not coming for you. We just want to talk to you on the phone.
Oh yeah, come for me, Brett King.
Oh, we were super, like, way super baked.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I got to hear this again.
No, we're trying to, anyway, the message is going to end eventually, so let me just run out to, you know, fuck you. Let me run out the tape on your stupid fucking answering machine. You dumb cunt. Look, you said, I'm up now, Paul Regan, I'll be up tomorrow night for call me whenever. It's whenever, Brett. It's whenever. Now is whenever. And what am I talking to? I'm talking to Dorn's answering machine. We might even make up, Brett. I'm going to be honest with you. We might get together, like I have a meeting of the minds here and be like, shit, like one of those stupid fucking superhero movies where the villain's like, we're not so different, you and I.
What the fuck?
I don't know, man.
I get it.
Like that might happen, but not on your machine.
Answer your
Put
phone,
down the
Brett.
mac and cheese, Brett. I know you're listening. Just do something good. One time. And follow through. Okay. I'm never going to call you again, by the way. So this is your last
That was a lie.
Well, no, your last chance has expired, actually. TJ can call you back if he wants, but Paul's ego. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You missed that bus, Brett. But you know that feeling, don't you?
My favorite part.
You missed a lot of fucking buses in your life, Brett.
You miss a lot of.
I know that bus station. Hey, Brett.
And then it just cut off there. Yeah.
We're trying to call you. We're live on right now.
We don't need to hear this.
Yeah,
last one.
we did this one live here.
Yeah, this one actually happened here. So.
Right.
But there it is. So once again, like my credentials as a Brett Keane expert and a historian, there it is.
There it is.
You know,
I can see why he compares it to John Wayne Gacy. I mean,
I talked to him for a long
those phone
time.
calls with what he did. So, well.
Yeah. I talked to him for a long time that first night. That first little snippet of the private conversation that I didn't know was being recorded. So I suspect more of this will come out over the next months.
It's pretty saving it up to like make more drama videos. You know, got to keep the drama going.
Yeah.
Get a few hundred views.
I know you're a lesbian and everything, but you would go straight for Brett Keane, right?
I mean, he is probably the best looking manatee I've seen, I guess.
Yeah.
The best looking man, a T.
I feel you.
Oh God, look at this. Got to skip the intro.
We have
Look
with
at
us
this.
today Shanny for Christ. Do you still
Shanny for Christ. Look at Brett. Brett has no shirt on. He has no shirt. This is when Shanny had all the money and shit.
have the same YouTube channel, Shanny for Christ?
Yes, I do.
All right. So
How does he
folks,
not
make
even
sure
know
you go
what
over
channel
and
she had?
subscribe.
Hey, you know what? I don't even know if you have the same channel anymore, but I want to have you on my podcast.
Comment, rate. Can you spell it out for them in case they're like, huh? What?
Oh, it's Shanny, SHANNY 4 FOR Christ CHRIST.
Very good, very good. All right, the first question is, how long have you been a Christian?
It is coming up to now 5 years on Mother's Day.
All right, what inspired you? Did someone take you to church, or did you just decide to initiate it? How did this work?
This is when she was like making porno and shit at this point. Just bringing that up.
I met Jesus.
You met him.
Something really bad and personal happened to my life, and I just wanted to die. So I did literally wanted to die. I didn't have anything in my life left. And I was like a week away of converting to Wicca. And
Wicca. She was converting from Wicca.
For some reason in my head, I wanted to find a Bible because I just felt so bad. And I knew like Psalms, you know, had things that were comforting, and I wanted to find some kind of Psalms to read. So I spent 3 hours looking for my Bible, you know, on my bookshelf. You know, there's like Wicca books everywhere, and there, like on the bottom shelf in the like corner was this beautiful Bible. I still have it today. And I opened it up and I started reading it for like 4 days. I stopped eating completely, so it was like...
this is how you know this story is not true.
4 days of not eating.
By the way, still trying to get to 30%. We're so close. If you want to help us get to 30%, throw a couple dollars here to the Streamlabs link pinned at the top of the chat.
Not drinking and reading the Bible and, you know, the brink of death, wanting to die. And ended up eating that night when I found Christ. And I was I watched this one video. What was it? An ex-Satanist on YouTube by Stephen Dollins. It's like the Prophecy Club. And I saw that, then I went to go take a shower, and then something strange happened. I went, boom, right on my knees, and I could not get up. I could not move, and I just started weeping uncontrollably. And I was like, Lord, if you could help me, if you could get what I need back, please, I will do anything. I will be your servant until the day I die. And then Jesus appeared to me, and I saw his feet, and I started kissing his feet and thanking him.
Kissing his feet.
I felt the Holy Spirit enter me, and it felt like a warm blanket because the water was just ice cold then. Completely ice cold, and I was shivering and crying in the bathtub. And my husband came in, and he saw me actually being converted to Jesus.
First I thought she said perverted to Jesus.
You know, and I was a staunch atheist. You know, I hated God. He was the last one I would seek out, you know, above anything. I'd rather do Buddhism than that. And then I found him. And ever since then, everything's been clicking into place.
Why do you think it is that you hated God before this?
Christians. Hypocritical Christians.
Hypocristians?
Their judgmental attitudes and the fact that they really don't care for the lost. And they always judged people on what they did and what they said, and it affected me really bad.
If it's not too personal, you can pass on any questions, but what did some Christians do to you that you considered so bad that it caused you to hate God?
Well, the first one was on Mother's Day when I was 13. I went to a Southern Baptist church, and they were talking about how, and I thought it was just completely inappropriate for Mother's Day. They were talking about how if a man wants to have his wife, she should obey him and give herself to him, even if she doesn't want to.
Yeah, that's part of Christian doctrine. I mean, it's there. People can ignore it if they want.
And, you know, if she doesn't continue to give herself to him, then the man should force himself upon her. And this is a Southern Baptist church that was in, like, Asheville, North Carolina. And ever since then, I started looking for different avenues because I knew that wasn't what Jesus wanted.
Yeah, she has way more teeth here. That is crazy.
I used to be obsessed with Matthew.
Matthew!
The book of Matthew when I was around 13. obsessed. I read it over and over and over and over and over again. So I had the Sermon on the Mount stuck in my head for years. Other reasons was, going online and being a believer. It was between you, TJ, Dick Coughlin, and Napalm that actually made me want to change over to atheism, to tell you the truth, to finally have the nail in the coffin. Before then, I had a Buddhist Jew. I was labeled myself as a Buddhist Jew for Jesus.
A Buddhist Jew for Jesus.
What would you say if I were to tell you that in my interview with The Amazing Atheist, one of my last questions was, do you believe that it's possible that God could exist? He actually said yes.
Of course, it's possible. There's lots of possible things. That doesn't mean they're likely or that we should believe them.
How do you feel about that?
Praise God for that. It's about dang time that he finds that possibility. But then again, he did say he prayed to God when his father died. So I hope he gets better than what he was, because I haven't watched him in years because of certain erratic behavior he had toward me.
Certain erotic behavior or neurotic behavior? What did she say?
Than what he was. Because I haven't watched him in years because of certain erratic behavior he had.
Erratic
toward me.
I gotta ask you, you said that I was one of the people that you watched whenever you were influenced to be an atheist. Out of all the assholes and idiots on the internet, why this asshole idiot did you watch? And I'm talking about myself. I said, out of all the assholes and idiot atheists you could have watched, why did you watch me for?
Because you're the grandfather daddy of atheism on YouTube.
Ooh, I never heard it put that way before.
You are. You're the one who started it, Brett. You started it all. And, at the time, I just didn't feel like I had the maturity to understand it. But, I looked up to you because, I started watching The Amazing Atheist. I don't even remember how I started watching him. I just started watching him. And, it just, I don't know. He started talking about Dick Coughlin, so I looked into him, and Dick Coughlin always talked to Napalm, and I started hearing him, and then Napalm started mentioning you, and I was already watching you, but I don't even know how it all started. I just, back 10 years ago, but it did.
Okay. You had said that before you went up into the bathroom and fell to your knees and your husband came up to witness your conversion, you said that you felt like you were going to die. Is it too personal to ask this? Why? Yeah. Sort of embarrassing. But I guess I'll answer it because it is part of my testimony. Back in 2010, I had a suicide attempt. Because my husband now, he asked me to marry him, and I was just so freaked out because of my last marriage that I was like, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. And I freaked out, and for some reason, I cut my arms all up. And the police showed up and took my sons away from me. And
so,
and since 2015, here's to 10 years of DP for me.
Thank you. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much for watching and supporting and being here right now. This is amazing. You guys are great. Yeah, I was going to watch other stuff, but I'm just kind of falling down this rabbit hole of this old Brett content here.
That
Please like the stream too, by the way.
Was a horrible, horrible 2 years of my life because I had to go with CPS, taking my kids for 2 years because of a suicide attempt. And, but God got me through it the whole time, you know, even though I didn't have him when I initially lost my sons. But they're fine now.
You did end up getting your children back?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that aged poorly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They realized how my background was, how it was abusive and stuff. And, you know, I had a couple of suicide attempts before then. But now it's so much better. I haven't cut myself in over 5 years now. I haven't had suicide attempt in over 5 years now. I've gone through extensive dialectic behavioral therapy, which basically is showing you a different way and showing you and teaching you how to cope through your life.
Has believing in God helped you?
It helped me more than the therapy, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, you're so helped. Look how helped you are. You're doing so great.
Jesus, he gave me the strength and will to survive. Like, for instance, like when I felt as an atheist, I didn't have anyone. But as a Christian, when you're alone, you have someone to talk to. You have God to talk to. And you have him to comfort you, and he's the greatest of all comforters.
Comforters.
I have another question for you. Are you aware, and this is something I actually brought up to Paul's Ego as well as the Amazing Atheist and some of my other people that I interviewed, but according to statistics, atheists have the highest substance abuse rates as well as suicide rates. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't.
Why do you think that is?
It doesn't at all. Very sad. They have no hope. What do they have to hope for? You know, it's like things happen, you end up dead. That's it. Death. Done. Over. Game over. That's how it is being an atheist. You know, versus being a believer and you have someone. You have something to hold on to. Even at your very worst, you have something still to hold on to.
Without God, can there possibly be a meaning or purpose in someone's life? Something beyond just imagining up something. Without God,
these are the standard Brett questions. Have you noticed this? This is like, these are the same question. These are copy paste questions Brett asks everybody. But this is a softball because Shanny's just going to pretend to agree with Brett
is
the
there
whole
meaning and
time.
Purpose to the universe.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think people find purposes for their life when they don't have God. You know, be it their children or their mom or dad, but they look for human beings to cling to as an atheist. I don't know. You would have to ask an atheist what the purpose would, if there is a true purpose, because I think everyone has like an individual answer to that.
When we can see that there are Christians out there as well as non-believers in society that will let us down, what do you do whenever humans let you down, and at the same time you don't believe there's a God to talk to? What then?
I don't know. I would have been dead by then. I would have committed suicide. If it wasn't for God, I would have committed suicide by now.
I'm glad that you did, and I'm glad you're here with me today.
Thank you.
All right. What do you think would be the hardest thing for you to give up on?
Food. Food.
Oh.
Food.
Other than God, my husband.
Oh no. No, you'll give him up.
I can't quit him. He's
Oh yeah, you'll starve
such
him.
a wonderful person. And then I can't quit on my kids either.
You did.
I also can't quit. For some reason, I can't quit YouTube.
There you go.
I've been doing it for so long. It's just like, I can't do it. I can't stop it. It's going to be who it is.
Yeah, YouTube's become a virtual jungle. It's hard to survive in this.
A virtual jungle.
Well, I don't know. It's like you do it for 10 years, a whole decade of you on YouTube, and you're like, how can I stop this? You know?
I hear you. This next question is going to be a little weird, but would you give a homeless person CPR if they were dying?
She doesn't know how to do CPR. I wouldn't trust her to do CPR. No way.
I was homeless, so yeah. I've opened up my home to homeless people before.
That's not the question.
You yourself was homeless?
2 years back. I had a really bad problem with bed bugs. They're really bad in this area. And
with bed bugs? Is that what she said?
My mother invited me to live at her house for a couple weeks so we could save up so we can get another place to live. She ended up kicking us out, so we ended up in a homeless shelter, which I don't regret because that's when my life and how I viewed people and how my behavior toward people changed, because a lot of the times how people act on the internet.
Wow, the retrospect of this is just unbelievable.
It won't do in a situation in the real world. Like if you're going to go in someone's face and tell them they should believe this and they should believe that, or they're going to die in hell, you're going to get your butt kicked for that.
Yeah, okay, whatever, bitch.
All right, my next question.
All right. He doesn't follow up on the answer at all. He's just like, all right, next question.
Is, what makes you bored?
What makes me bored? I don't know. I always seem to do something to take up time, but probably when no one's in the house and I don't have anything to take care of or anyone to take care of. That usually gets me bored.
You feel like you got to constantly be moving, be distracted?
No.
Oh, yeah.
If moving means eating,
Right.
yes.
Which is your favorite four-legged creature and why?
Cat.
Cats, man.
I knew it.
I love cats.
You love them so much you don't change their litter boxes.
You know, I love their
big time cat lover
attitudes.
here. By the way, I think just one more $5 dono would probably get us to 30%, maybe slightly over.
I love how silly they can be. You know, I love how they talk to you and they comfort you. If I could be any animal, it would be a cat.
Is there something or someone you miss the most?
Imagine that. Imagine Channy the cat. Just picture it for a second.
Never seen a manatee interviewing another manatee before.
And there we are, 30%. It's a manatee and a hippo.
I miss my brothers. I'm no longer in contact with them. I miss them terribly because I helped raise them.
No, you didn't.
I look at them as my sons, and
They're not your sons, okay?
Do you have any way to contact them?
Messed up my relationship with them, so.
Do you have any way to contact them?
Yeah, but they hang up on her.
I do, but they don't want to talk to me because my mom, because of how...
It's all your mom's
I
fault.
don't know what's wrong with her, but... she told a bunch of lies about me that weren't true, and they don't want to have anything to do with me.
I wouldn't give up on that.
I tried. I was working...
I think you tried, but I can't do it anymore.
...for a company, and my brother went through and went to the company, and, you know, I tried to talk to him, and he wouldn't have it. So... And this was about 5 months ago. So, I don't think there's any way there could be any reconciliation. Which is heartbreaking, because when you lose everyone in your family, it changes you and warps you as a person.
It's sad. Next question.
I wonder, I don't know when her mom made that video about her, but her mom did make a video like, fuck you, Shani's insane, she's a bitch, I hate her.
I don't know where this is going to go, but are you happy with your life for the most part right now?
Yes. For the most part, I do love how my life is. I have a house now. My children are very happy. Speaking of child, you were supposed to stay in your room, son. Go.
Get in your fucking room, you crazy bitch!
You want a glass of milk?
Kid.
You'll get a glass of milk after this, okay, sweetie?
And how much longer? So she does this for like another hour here. Little bit less than an hour. Her kid wants a glass of milk, and she's like, "Yo, yeah, fucking wait until I'm done."
Sorry about that. Yeah, I am actually very happy with my life. I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful cat who adores me, who's acting strange right now. I have a wonderful job.
You have a job?
Nice car, nice, you know, I guess. I'm computerless at the moment, but other than that, I do really enjoy my life, and I actually enjoy solitude.
Okay. You can have one of the following of two things. You can either have trust or love with people. Which would it be?
Love. Love. If I could, like, one of my mantras back in my atheist day was, I just want people to love me. Hasn't changed. I still want people to love
Her
me.
kids were taken away from her, so maybe she was eating all their food too.
The next question I got for you is, tell me about your favorite book or magazine or comic.
Or comic.
Well, my favorite book's the Bible. Read so many times. You know, it's a book where it tells you about...
All right, I'm done with the shit. I would like to watch this whole video sometime, though. I didn't even expect to find it. So that's interesting. Maybe we'll go back and look at that. Let's do the Manatee crying saga right here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. Notice I don't have an intro up. That was a request of TJ and the Drunken Peasants. They would like to probably put this damn video up on their big show for everybody to see. Apparently, people out there have never seen someone eat a fucking hamburger before. Okay? TJ also pointed out on a live broadcast on the Drunken Peasants that he would pay $1,000 if I showed my teeth. Which I did. That's my teeth. Exciting, huh? I'm going to be gumming the shit out of this burger. And he said he would pay $100 if I ate a burger. $1,000 for the teeth. So in all, he owes me $1,100.
$1,100.
And that's that. He said he would. Now, if he keeps his promise,
Thank you for the raid. Love the raid. Thanks for doing that.
With what he claims he's going to do. Let me take out my glasses.
It's Ico.
Oh, goodness. These are such messy, too. It's a Big Mac. Oh. Damn. And I don't have my dentures in.
I can't believe it. Hi, thanks for stopping by. This is a really old video from back in the day. This is some old Drunken Peasants lore from like a decade ago. This guy was paid a lot of money to eat this burger without his dentures in.
If I choke to death, you have to send my family more money. At least, I don't know. I guess my life is worth about $10,000 according to some of you.
Is it?
Hmm.
He was paid $1,100 to show his teeth and eat this burger without the teeth in. This is how he spends all day too, on his belly with his feet up behind him.
I would recommend when you put this video up and show the entire world me eating a hamburger, I would recommend putting the music from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You know, the oh yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, oh.
Yeah, he's like a teenage girl writing in her diary, laying in bed, like, Dear Diary.
Oh, yeah. That'll make it really cool. And then afterwards, you can do like the Amazing Atheist dance. Here we go. Goodness gracious. That's a damn good burger. Hard to get down the throat hole, though.
I think it's a Big Mac or a quarter pound. No, it's a quarter pounder, right?
It's got cheese, too.
Ah!
Cheese.
Cheese. I am also hungry. I will be streaming for just a little while longer, and then I'm going to eat some food, and then I'll be streaming again later.
Oh, damn. I'll need a drink. Some French vanilla situation here. Now, I'll eat the fucking burger, and I've shown you my teeth, but there ain't no way I'm pouring chicken grease all over my body. I already told you I have a reaction. I'll get extremely infected and fucking die. I can't eat chicken.
He eats chicken, by the way. He's a liar. Yeah, I'm caught up on JF. He had to flee Quebec, and now he lives in Alberta. He tried to keep it a secret that he lives in Alberta, but he can't stop oversharing, so it's obvious that he's living in Alberta. He won't let his new girlfriend on camera. Oh my! Oh my God! I wonder how much. I wonder how much like rotten food is in his bed.
My wife is gonna fucking kill me for that. I'm getting salad or lettuce on the.
What am I going to kill you for?
What am I going to kill you for? She was listening.
You're gonna kill me for getting a little bit of lettuce on the thing.
Or in the third.
Do we got any napkins, baby? I'm all dirty now.
Get up and get your own
You think
napkins,
I gotta have
Brett.
some mac and cheese later. Oh, goodness.
Be nice in the comments or we'll block you.
See, TJ and the Drunken Peasants and Drunken Peasants fans out there, I care very much about my faith. I believe in God, and my wish and desire is to sow seeds. But I never lost my sense of humor. And I never lost my desire to try to work things out with people. And if it'll make you laugh and it makes you happy, even if it's at my expense, so be it. There's one other thing that I need to give you. In the description of my video, there's going to be a link to Twitter, basically a poll, where you can choose to have me knocked off of YouTube forever.
He's always done this gimmick so many times. I remember he wrote up a contract in like MS Paint, where he said he'd leave YouTube forever. He said if Trump lost, he'd leave YouTube forever. So apparently here he did a Twitter poll where he'd leave YouTube forever. He always comes back. He deleted his channel a couple weeks ago. He'll be back. This is the cycle of the manatee.
Or you can keep me around. It's your choice. So this is your chance. If you want Brett Keane to retire forever on YouTube, that's the way to do it. If you'd like me to stick around, I will. But it's a democracy. Let people do it. The other thing is, I had a whole lot of people come on my broadcast earlier due to the Drunken Peasants sending their fans over. And they wanted me to tell you that they'd like some views to their YouTube channels. I told them that if they post their links in the comments, that I would tell you guys to go there and check them out. And mention one of them by name. He calls himself the Fox.
The Fox? I don't even remember this guy. The Fox.
God bless you all and have a wonderful day. But P.S. I want to say one more thing. Joseph Martelli, Drunken Peasants, told me that they were very concerned that you were talking about committing some kind of violence.
Yes.
If you have anything like that going through your head, don't do that. You know just as well as me.
Yeah, and then it turned out Brett was trying to get Joseph Martelli to like come to our houses and shit like that. Joseph Martelli was a crazy, psychotic guy that got on a Greyhound and went all the way from where he lived in upstate New York to where we were living in Ohio at the time and came to our meetup after making several crazy threats. But he got chased down the street and ran away.
God believer. We're not to hurt people. We're to love our enemies and do unto others we want done unto ourselves.
Brett always did this like I'm taking the high road bullshit.
Just go back home and try to get your life together. And maybe one day you guys will be able to work things out and perhaps even be friends. Maybe just go your other way. Do what Christ would want. And walk away from those, dust your feet of those who won't listen to you. And love those who will walk with you. Peace.
All right, so here's us reacting to the video of Brett crying because, as I was saying before, TJ was like, nah, actually, Brett, I changed my mind. I'm not going to pay you for eating the hamburger. And this is, I got to find it here. I got to find it. 231. Let's see, 231.
In this crowd say TJ shit, many say he's terrific. Who knows? Even I'm not sure.
All right, let's do the next one.
Yeah, let's play the next one.
This one's from, I think, a few months ago, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago.
No.
It's, no?
I don't know.
The amazing atheist, I trusted you and you scammed us all.
Fuck.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from TV Radio. Make sure you check out all my YouTube channels.
What the fuck is going on with your hair?
Facebook and Twitter. Also, make sure that you check out my...
Why is he giving off this creepy teenage girl vibe in this video? Yeah, dude, he fucking looks like
He's laying in bed writing in his diary.
Yeah, he just looks like... I mean, like, I remember this phase of his video making, too. And I always used to get this feeling when he did this, like... Dear Diary, today the amazing atheist was a meanie. It's like, oh, shit.
Billy looked at me today, and oh my God, I almost died. I love him so much. XOXO.
brother's YouTube channel. He's a very talented guitarist.
He is.
Indeed.
Wow. Yeah, man, Brett, it must be tough. Look at him. He's sad. Like,
yeah, look how sad he is.
mentioned that?
Dude, look, Brett is basically praying to Justin right now. Dear God, please make me as great as Justin. Please. Never be Justin.
You'll never be Justin, Brett.
You know, I don't even know why your fucking parents even fed you, honestly, when they had Justin. Honestly, if I was sitting there and I had two kids, and I'm looking and one's Brett and one's Justin, would you even give any food to Brett? Like, my problem.
So a lot of Drunken Peasants fans, you came over to my channel, you watched me take the challenge. I've literally got almost 3,000, perhaps even more tonight, views on a video where I went ahead and took the challenge. You guys have heard twice in 2 different videos that TJ stated he was going to pay $1,100 for me eating a hamburger as well as showing my teeth.
Oh, it's during this
I
time.
did. And I'll admit to you, it was very difficult for me on the teeth part because it's something I've always been bothered about. I told Paul Ziegel that in Skype and told TJ whenever I talked to them long ago. You see, the teeth in all my old videos is fake. A long time ago, my father
no, they're not.
knocked my teeth out.
Okay, so this is where Brett claimed that even in the older videos where he had teeth, those were fake teeth because when he was a kid, his father knocked out all of his teeth, which is not true. He had rotting out real teeth for a really long time, and then he had to have those pulled. But he's making up this bullshit story to make you feel sorry for him.
Unless you went through a period where you were wearing a pair of dentures that only had 2 front teeth. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Your dad didn't just see you every time like time to knock another tooth out, Brett.
Over the course of my adult life, my father punched out my
like
teeth
every 6 months,
one.
his dad would just walk up and just sock Brett in the face. Like, you know, it was this time of the year, man.
It's kind of hard to knock out a molar, you know.
What would happen is my dad would contact me and he'd be like, Brett, I want to patch things up. Can we meet? And I'd say, okay. And as soon as I got out of the car, he'd jump me and go tink, 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 and chisel out another tooth. That son of a bitch.
Do you have any idea how like what kind of fucking punch would knock out every single tooth in your fucking head? I mean, his father would have to have been like a fucking
Brock Lesnar
or some shit. And like, you know, did he take a fucking like baseball bat to his face and just
Dude, it would take multiple hits. Yeah, it would take multiple hits from a baseball bat to do that, dude.
And you'd think he'd have way more like damage to his face if that were the case. Like the amount of force it would take to knock out like his molars and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have like scarring on his face from that.
His father punched out every single solitary tooth in his fucking head.
I have a bad tooth. I have a tooth taken out. So this story is just complete horseshit.
No, Paul. Everyone was convinced by Brett's story. Everyone just believed him. Just like, you know what?
People were, dude. I legitimately had people come to me like, you're a piece of shit for making fun of Brett not having any teeth, knowing that his dad is the one who punched
There's
his
no
teeth out.
believe anything.
How could you believe
There are
that?
people who are gullible enough to believe.
How the fuck did you believe
shit.
Brett on anything?
Scotty, you shouldn't even be surprised that people will believe stupid bullshit like that.
Man, there are some dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Scotty.
Yeah,
There
you
are
got to be
some
really fucking stupid.
Dumb
Yeah,
motherfuckers
really
out there,
fucking
Scotty.
stupid people.
People who have no ability to reason whatsoever. They just believe anything they hear.
Yep.
They want to believe.
That would be the
If they
criteria.
wanna
You just
believe it.
hear it and do it. Oh, Brett said it. It must be true.
He got his teeth punched out by his dad. Oh my God! I feel bad for him.
So it's something that's always bothered me.
Congratulations.
A lot of
You've
people
fallen
feel
for
like
Not as
they
a
say things
child.
about their body that they're not happy with. But I had the courage to allow
Wait.
thousands and thousands of people.
He said his teeth were knocked out as a child. But that would have been his first set of teeth. So, Brett, your shit doesn't make any sense, dude. Your shit. If someone knocked out your baby teeth, at some point you would get your adult teeth, Brett. So
I mean, not even mentioning the fact that you spend 90% of your life flapping your empty gums in front of the internet. You act like it was such a fucking horrible thing to pull your lip up and show everybody what everybody already knew anyway.
To look upon a flaw of me in order to take a challenge that TJ put forth. I said I would. I did. I'm a man of my word.
You know, you make Brett cry in this video.
I've literally
TJ.
had tons and tons of Drunken Peasants fans come in and out of my room since he said he was going to do this twice, stating, TJ is not a scammer. He will do what he says he's going to do.
And he did.
But he didn't. Tonight I listened to him actually state after twice saying he would pay.
And he
didn't
did.
go through with it.
Yes, he did.
Now this poses a problem for a lot of non-believers out there because
Poses
the
no
Amazing
problem, 'cause it's
Atheist is
bullshit.
considered probably the most popular atheist on YouTube. that millions of atheists out there endorse and subscribe to.
And non-atheists,
And
too.
the fact that you know that he scammed me and let him get away with that, after the only thing that I've really accused him of is being like his father, a scammer, which he did scam the Drunken Peasants fans out there, all the people who's given him money.
Plus rape, plus pedophilia. But yeah, that's about it.
He's accused him of more than just that, but yes.
I'm pretty sure there's been more even than that. Oh, and also personally masterminding, engineering the downfall of his channels.
For years now. Every year, every day.
And for stealing his video content constantly and using it for my own profit. And he's going to sue me. And he's
fat ass.
Going to report me to the FBI and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, he's going to have Paul arrested.
I like when he called you a fat ass.
Oh, yeah.
Fat ass.
This big bullfrog necked motherfucker calling anybody a fat ass.
Yeah.
What is, like...
It's so true.
The way you would draw this...
Lay on his fucking fat stomach, too, man. Like can you imagine Brett's gut, dude? Come on.
You basically just extend his face down... and then just kind of curve it in as
he's a fucking blob.
It's like an underside of a turtle or something. I mean,
you just draw his face like a normal human face in really wet ink, and then pour water on it and let it
Passed. He never gave me back.
I want to see the part where he cries.
What he said he was going to do. I seen him do that to people before.
Seen him.
And I didn't feel like it was right.
Jeez, the bottom of his fucking face is just making me uncomfortable now.
I've seen TJ do bad things. So what is your proof, Brett? Of course, there is no evidence. You know what's funny, Brett? If we just talked about any shit you've done, there's just a mountain of evidence against you. So it's kind of just funny that even when you pull this shit, you don't just go and find shit TJ's actually done that's bad. I mean, besides the banana shit, like, there's a bunch of shit TJ said. So if you're going to attack TJ on something, at least attack him on something you can actually prove. Like, TJ said this mean thing to this person. Here you go.
Scam countless children out of an education.
Children. I thought it was a college. Wasn't it a college?
Yeah. There's children now. Scam children.
LaSalle Kindergarten. Millions of hopeful children signed up hoping to get a good education.
I literally want Brett to say that, like, he saw someone pushing a stroller and a baby had a lollipop and our dad just came along and grabbed it. So he's taking candy from a baby. Come on.
And then he throws the stroller off a fucking, off a bridge or something.
Enjoy your education in hell.
Death by chicken.
He just licks the lollipop. The mom's like, no! That was my dad, everybody.
So many children's lives were destroyed by LaSalle University, let me tell you.
I'm sorry that you perceive me as the enemy or some kind of villain. But I know that there's a lot of atheists who've contacted me on Skype, which I've uninstalled recently. I just simply don't want to talk to people anymore.
Guess what? You can just not sign in.
A lot of you believed in him. A lot of you put your faith into TJ keeping his word.
And he did.
I'm sorry that you didn't get what you wanted.
And he did.
I was really, really hoping to make that video where I say, hey, TJ kept his word. Maybe I had the wrong idea.
You did, but you deleted it. And then you bitched about how he was giving you more money.
After all these years.
Yeah. So
he continued to give you money after he gave you the money he said he would.
Yeah, just not even out of niceness or anything, just because it amused me to do so.
TJ, you know what? I think Brett. I mean, look, it's been a while, and there's still no interview. I think TJ, you're going to go to Patreon on this.
He's a scammer.
Yeah, he's fucking scammed you. He has publicly scammed you, TJ. Brett, you've been invited on this show several times. We're not talking about the interview is not going to take place on your show, Brett. It's going to take place either on The Amazing Atheist or The Drunken Peasants or something, right, TJ?
Yeah.
So, Brett, you need to come to TJ.
I would say no matter where it takes place, we'll let it just be TJ and Brett.
Just TJ and Brett.
Yeah.
That was the agreement. No, none of the rest of us gave him $666 a month.
But, TJ, I think you got to give Brett a deadline here, because otherwise I think you're just going to have to do a chargeback on him because he's not fucking delivering on this interview.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that.
So, yeah.
Right, you should probably contact me privately, but
Contact me on Twitter or something, Brett, because
you contact me on Twitter.
Because something tells me that that $1,000 isn't sitting in your bank ready for a chargeback, Brett. Something tells me that got spent long ago on
you
fucking
have not given us the
SpaghettiOs
perk.
shit.
You promised.
SpaghettiOs
you
and
promised
shit.
TJ and anyone else who donated that amount of money to your Patreon, Brett.
Yeah, you said you were
that you give certain perks. Have you featured TJ on your channel? I think there's a few things he said he would do. Brett, you have not lived up to the terms that you stated and your Patreon perks. So I mean, like we're forced, Brett. And look, I'm sure TJ, do you even want to do this, TJ?
Yeah.
Oh, you do want to do this?
You want to do it?
Oh, he does want to do it, Brett. I guess, Brett, you've burned that bridge with TJ permanently, man. You need to come up with a deadline, TJ, and fucking tweet it or something.
No, I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Me and Brett are going to do this interview.
The clock's ticking, Manatee.
You know, there is a possibility that maybe we can arrange something with Brett. Maybe we can arrange something mutually beneficial to both of us, Brett.
We got to see Brett cry at the end.
Maybe he'll tell the truth.
Maybe.
Look at him.
No. I was really hoping to be wrong.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Drunken Peasants fans, and I'm sure some of you get over it. Some of you will be able to sleep at night knowing that you endorse someone who lies and hurts people for fun.
You know what? Even the dumbasses that were like, the idea that anybody lost sleep over this, Brett, is the silliest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
No, there were
break,
like the fucking subreddit went retarded.
No, I know, but even those fucking retards, like nobody was like laying awake in bed at night going, man, I hope Brett gets $1,000, man. I really believed in TJ.
Thought you were different, TJ. Thought this would be the time that me and you just patched things up, and
I don't think
you and Brett became buddies again.
I don't think a month goes by without at least one really huffy fan being like, you know, man, I used to respect you.
It's a concerned troll. I used to be a fan.
2014, man.
Now that you said this one thing that I don't like, fuck you, TJ.
Dude, in every time period, too, there's like, man, TJ, 2012, man, you were on point, 2012. I love 2012. 2013, shit. 2014, shit. 2015, shit. Everything before that, also shit, but 2012.
I think 2010 is probably like my favorite era.
No way, dude. No way, man. 2012.
Everyone knows the best era was 2011, dude. 2011.
All right. Here we go. All right.
When Amazing Atheist videos fucking meant something.
YouTube for a little bit. I'm not going to quit. But,
oh, your crocodile tears. You're not even all upset,
God.
Brett. Brett, just stop.
I know you guys thought better of the Amazing Atheist. Oh, you know.
I'm
not you know, where, whatever, you know. I'm sad now.
I hope that you all have a beautiful day.
And a Merry Christmas.
God, it's light on so thick.
God bless you all.
God bless you all. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lord.
I thought it'd be different.
Betrayalized me. Oh, no.
God, Brett, you're so pathetic.
God, it's whack ass.
No, you're sobbing. You're sobbing, Brett. Come on.
And the Oscar goes too.
Dude, he's so clearly not upset.
You're a fucking moron.
You could see when he opened his eyes. Like, there was no tears. His eyes weren't red from crying. You could tell if he was really upset. You'd fucking know he was upset.
He literally tried to pull like the.
TJ. But
I'm sad. I'm sad.
Dude, we need to play that. Dude, when you interview Brett, you need to play that. You need to play how sad Brett was. Like, Brett, I made you cry. Remember time I made you
fucking freshly cut on this
field.
Yeah. Sweet.
Oh, that was the end of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Unintentional humor.
Yeah, so that's that. That's a trip down memory lane right there. When Brett Keane cried because TJ didn't pay him for eating a burger. Well, I guess he did pay him. He did hold off on it for a while to make him squirm a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, that was sweet. Yeah, so I am going to wrap it up, I think. I think I'm going to end the stream, and I'll be back later. I'm going to do like a really chill stream later that, you know, I'm just going to hang out and watch some shit and do that kind of thing. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. Bye.